And welcome to this edition of How to Write in my How to Write series. We're finally to the point of doing the plot board. I know y'all have been anxiously anticipating this day. Well, I hope you enjoy it. I am not the one who came up with this. This is not an original idea, but I thought it would be prudent to add it in to the series for those of you who think you're plotters. I'm not a plotter. Maybe I'll learn to be a plotter through making this plot board. So first of all, you got to have a trifold board. This is one I picked up at Walmart. Just a couple of bucks. They're very inexpensive. You can get some pretty big ones. This is a smaller one. And it's really simple to make a plot board out of these because the way that they are designed being trifold, you just follow the lines, literally. You're going to make a line down that side, you're going to make a line down this side, and you're going to make a line straight down the middle. And then we're going to have some lines across too, and I'll show you those in just a minute. Okay, so as you can see in this crease, I've taken my Sharpie and I just went down the line to make a line. Now I'm going to fold it over like this, and I'm going to use this edge of the board to make another line. It is not going to be perfect, but then whoever said I was perfect? I'm not. Now, the other side. Just so you see what I'm doing, I'm making a line down the crease with a Sharpie. Voila! And when you open it back up again, you have 4 sections. And that's because Act 1 has 1 section, Act 2 has 2 sections, and Act 3 has 1 section. Now, let me do the lines across and things will become clearer. Okay, so now I'm making a line across at the 14-inch mark because this thing was 28 inches wide. And yes, I do get into my work. Okay, that's the first section. So what we have here now is Act 1, parts 1 and 2, Act 2, part 1, section 3 and 4, Act 2, Part 2, sections 5 and 6, and Act 3, sections 6 and 7. There's 7 sections to the 3-act structure. And I'm going to go into detail about that also. Bear with me. What I want to do now is I want to create a border, a kind of a secondary line across this section and this section, so that whenever I get to climatic scenes, I can put a sticky note in there. It's just a special area for the climatic scenes in each sequence. You'll enjoy it once you get there, and you'll understand better when I get finished. Pause. Okay, so when I finished up, this is how it turned out, and as you can see, it's not perfect. I had a little mishap. I also had a mishap here, and I had a mishap where else? Over here. So just so you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. And I failed coloring in kindergarten, you know, and I failed ruler in 1st grade. So if it's something that I do, I promise you it's not going to be perfect. Now we're ready to label our squares so we know what is what. And then we'll be able to kind of see a little easier what we're doing. So the first square, which is the first section, as you can see right here, is Act 1. And in Act 1, there's 2 sequences. So this is going to be sequence 1, sequence 2. This is a climactic scene area, and this is a climactic scene area. This is Act 2, Part 1, And this is going to be sequence 3 and sequence 4. And finally, well, almost finally, is Act 2, Part 2. And it's number 5 and 6. And finally, really finally, Act 3. Sequence number 7 and 8. And that, my lovelies, is how you make a plot board. And if that wasn't the easiest thing that I've ever done, I'll just have to tell you, it really was. Now what we do next is find some sticky notes and put them on this thing with information about our story. It could be about characters. It could be about, pause. It could be about characters. It could be about, maybe it's about setting. Maybe it's about a sub-character. Maybe it's about a subplot. You can get all different kinds of sticky notes and all different kinds of colors, and you can color code your plot board to be whatever you want it to be. Just remember to try and keep up with what you're color coding, because it wouldn't do for you to start out with green for your main character and yellow for the villain and end up, by the time you're finished with their plotting, blue for the villain and pink for the main character. You could get really confused because there's a lot of elements that go into writing a story, and you want to make sure that you have everything as organized and plain and easy to follow as possible. And that's pretty much it, you guys. Go to www.kimsmithauthor.com and check out the How to Write series. There's a link where you can find all the other links to all the posts so far. There's also a link to the book that I'm writing. It's right now it doesn't have a title, but there's a contest coming soon on titling this book, the blog book I'm calling it, because I'm writing it on the blog. KimSmithAuthor.com, check it out, and that's your video for a plot board.